Men will stain your white.
Men, we can't live without them, yet still can't live with them.
Men, why we hate them. I didn't know whether to strangle Nonso or spit in his face. I was heartbroken for the 100th time because of his affair with this woman. I didn't understand why he couldn't seem to let go of her. She wasn't the beautiful type, and I was better looking than her by all standards. So it didn't make sense that he kept returning to her every time. Tone wasn't sorry for me, and she didn't hide it. She got up and walked out of the room, leaving me behind with Nonso. I was too disgusted to even look at him. I took a deep breath and walked out to catch up with her. "Please don't leave me. I didn't do it," I heard him call out to me as I walked out. It took all the strength in me to ignore his pleas. I knew deep down that he didn't rape Nancy. So why would he forcefully attempt to take something he could get easily? It was like trying to steal free flyers from a shop. It made no sense at all. Whether he did it or didn't do it, the fact remained that he went to see her again after everything. He deserved the punishment he was getting for dining with the devil. It took a lot to convince myself that leaving Nonso behind, helpless, was the right thing to do. As I drove home from the police station, after apologizing to a very angry Tone, I just had enough time to finish my packing when I got home. Stephen came to take Mom to his place as planned, and I tagged along with my car. Dad still hadn't returned home since he left with Tenny, but Stephen and I didn't care. I could tell that Mom was very concerned, but was trying her best to hide it. Leaving her husband's house was something she had never imagined would happen. But she had no other choice if she were to keep her sanity. It was a necessary evil. My estate agent has suggested a couple of flats in my neighborhood that may be suitable for you, Mom, Stephen announced as we drove out of our compound. I have arranged for us to view them this weekend. Okay, was all Mom could mutter as she bade goodbye to her husband's house. Kai, poor woman, after everything. Men will stain your white. So Tenny won in the end. Let's continue the story. The next day at work was the start of the project with Nancy's employers. She wasted no time in getting to my office. It was precisely 9 a.m. when she walked over to my desk in the most ridiculous shoes I had ever seen. They looked like wannabe stilettos, joined to some horrible wedge heels that didn't even match her outfit. She was walking like a wounded chicken that had lost a toe. It was apparent that she had no fashion sense at all. That's why it was more painful that Nonso would cheat on a fashionista like me with her type. I still don't understand why men cheat on their partners with ladies who are not even half as good looking or intelligent. "I believe I'm supposed to be working with you today," she said with a cheeky smile when she finally reached my desk. "You are an hour early," I replied. "Well, you see, I had to come here earlier than planned because I have a personal proposal for you," she said, still smiling. "I'm not interested," I replied, playing with my phone and ignoring her. "If I were you, I would be," she continued, ignoring that I wasn't paying her any attention. "I'm sure you must be aware that Nonso was arrested yesterday for forcefully trying to have his way with me." "He would never do that," I snapped with a murderous glare. "Aha! I knew that would get your attention," she said, laughing. "It doesn't matter whether he did it or not," she whispered, leaning forward. "What matters is that the police think he did it," she said. At that point, I wished I could pull her tongue out and stuff it down her throat. Nancy had the power to put Nonso behind bars for as long as she pleased. Her father was a top official in the police force, and she was his only child. No one dared mess with her. I guessed that she had probably framed Nonso and made her father believe he raped her. No wonder none of his friends had been able to secure a bail for him without a lawyer's help. "This is my proposal," Nancy continued, looking around to be sure no one else was listening. "Break up with Nonso for good, and I'll withdraw my press charges against him. But keep dating Nonso, the charges remain, and he goes to prison. The choice is yours," she said, looking straight into my eyes. I studied her face carefully.
It's the audacity for me. This Nancy girl is even annoying. In fact, just because let me not talk. Let's continue.
I could tell she wasn't bluffing. I had always known she was desperate and would do anything to get Nonso. But I had no idea she was this desperate. I was mad at Nonso, but wasn't ready to give him up. Even if I was, I didn't want her to have the joy of thinking she defeated me. As crazy as it sounded, I couldn't imagine my life without Nonso. He was the only man I had ever really loved. It seemed like I had only two options. I put up a fight at the expense of Nonso going to prison, or I said goodbye to Nonso and let Nancy win. I was wedged between the devil and the deep blue sea.
What do you think? Is this a battle even worth fighting? Or should Sonia just walk away and let Nonso and Nancy be together? Because they even fit each other at this point. Like, what do you think? Let's know in the comment section. We are waiting. What happens in the next episode? If you're enjoying the story so far and you really don't want to have to wait till the next episode, then there's good news for you. The book is actually available in paperback and ebook format
on Amazon and Seller.
So you just need to go to Amazon and type in Men Why We Hate Them by Olufemi Idowu, and it will bring up the book, and you get to choose whether you want the ebook, paperback, or the audiobook.
For users that don't have access to Amazon, you can download the ebook on seller.co.
And you get to read these and many more exciting titles from yours truly. Men, Why We Hate Them.